Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads@xzoneradiotv.com.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Unwilling to be the government's deadly assassin, gifted psychic Kahara Mitchell went AWOL and ended up buried under rubble in the wake of a great tsunami. She regained consciousness far from Earth on the medical ship of a Dagaronian intergalactic fleet. Has she been rescued or abducted by aliens? The Chalice of Carrie, Kahira O'Donnell's latest paranormal science fiction romance, is the passionate story of an Earth woman and her destined mates, twin kings from another galaxy. Kahara uses her gifts fighting alongside Lords Rom and Ra in a war that will determine the destiny of galaxies. The Chalice of Carrie by Kahira O'Donnell is now available at KahiraO'Donnell.com or at Amazon.com.
The X Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our studios and broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger and Skype, Xzone Radio TV, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. And of course, you can always listen to the past 60-day shows by going to xzonepodcast.com. Now, the music I played coming into this first segment of tonight's show was by Blue Rodeo, and it was called Till I Am Myself Again. We're going to be featuring the music of Blue Rodeo, a Canadian group, this hour because the passing of James Gray, the keyboardist of the of Blue Rodeo, a great group, and this is our way of paying our respects. Now, my guest this hour is Irma Haggith, and she is a certified Akashic record reader and teacher. She's been doing this since 2004. And Akashic readings are combined with a releasing technique to assist clients in letting go of what is no longer working for them. Now, the Akashic records are what she calls the blueprint of your life, who you are, why you are here, and what you are meant to be doing in your life. All that has been, is, or ever will be written is written in the Akashic records. And her website is www.selfgrowth.com. And all you have to do is just key in Akashic Record Reader. Joining me now is Irma Haggith.
Everywhere and everything, because everything is energy. So the Akashic Records is the past, the present, the future. Everything that ever has been, ever will be, is written in the records. And it's everywhere around us all the time, because the choices we make on a daily basis, the decisions we make on a daily basis, create our record.
So we are creating our own reality at all the time, and what we create goes directly into the Akashic Records. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Where do the Akashic Records only contain what is going on this planet, or does it contain everything that is going on everywhere?
I can't say I've gone off planet yet, but I've gone pretty close to it. I've actually done readings for people that are affiliated with, and I'm going into dangerous ground here, I don't know if you've heard of the Galactic Federation.
Yes, we have. We've had, I forget the guest name, but they were part of the Galactic Federation. In fact, Betsy Lewis was on the other day, and she was talking about the Galactic Federation.
Yes, and I've actually seemed to be increasing in clients that are a part of this. Mm-hmm. And a client I actually did a reading for yesterday, she is going to be teaching us how to go through the dimensional doorways, because she did it as a child.
All right, you and I have to take our commercial break. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Please stand by. Exonation, Irma Haggith is my special guest this hour. And if you'd like more information on Irma, here's what you do. You go to www.selfgrowth.com, and in the search engine, you just put Irma's name, Irma Haggith, or Akashic Record Reader. It's that simple. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue from our studios in beautiful Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Whatever you do, don't go away. We'll be back, before you know it.
Nicholas P. Jennings is a lover of humanity and a seeker of truth. Using facts and not opinion, he exposes misconceptions spread by religious and political organizations. While theology, engineering, and science were his fields of academics, history, philosophy, and humanities are his fields of research. His article entitled "The Obama-Iran Nuclear Deal Must Be Stopped" exposes lies by Obama to approve a nuclear deal. This deal benefits Iran domestically and militarily, but compromises the security of the United States. The Jennings article is provided on the internet link www.rel-mar.com/NG1. That's www.rel-mar.com/NG1. Nicholas Jennings is a lover of humanity and a seeker of truth. Using facts and not opinion, he exposes misconceptions spread by religious and political organizations. While theology, engineering, and science were his fields of academics, history, philosophy, and humanities are his fields of research. Nicholas Jennings is devoted to informing and educating people.
His article titled, "The Obama-Iran Nuclear Deal Must Be Stopped," exposes lies by President Obama to approve a nuclear deal. This deal benefits Iran domestically and militarily, but compromises the security of the United States. Nicholas Jeniks's bio and books are hosted on www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
Fartlets, fartlings, pongies, and honkers. They have so many names, makes you go bonkers. Rear tempest, butt bubbles, bottom burps, all aside. Why does it smell like a little rat died? Hail the fart, whenever, wherever, whoever. Its existence actually enriches our lives because it gives us those unforgettable moments that we can all recall again and again that are always good for yet another laugh. A new expose on farting. Get your copy of The Endearing Fart by Eileen Dover at www.theendearingfart.com.
Now, I think I know why you sounded so strange on the telephone. Well, it's hard when you discover what keeps you going, keeps you all alone. Our dreams so thought the smoke might never clear, and you hide it all behind endless cigarettes and tears. Somebody waits for the time, I know it never comes. You get yourself so high and you come down feeling blue. One day you wake up and realize you've had enough. A thousand shining moments waiting just to happen to you.
Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and this hour we're playing the music of Blue Rodeo. James Gray, the keyboardist, passed away at the age of 52. So this is our tribute to the great Canadian group and to all the fans right around the world. Great group. Irma Haggith is my special guest this hour. Her website is www.selfgrowth.com. Just go to that website, put in the search engine Irma Haggith or Akashic Record Reader. We talked briefly before about how Edgar Casey is the person that I understand is responsible for the discovery of the Akashic Records.
Well, he was called, I guess, one of the first Akashic record readers.
Mm-hmm.
He would go into his sleeping trance. He would be given the name of the target or the person he was reading,
Mm-hmm.
and he was so specific in terms of finding a remedy. It would be people that would be ill that would come to him.
Right.
And back then it wasn't about the chemicals and the drugs and whatnot. It was more about like an apothecary where you'd go and find something on a shelf in a drugstore.
Right.
And he would be so specific that he would say, go to this drugstore, it's on this shelf, behind this. And he had to do sometimes 2 or 3 readings to get to where he wanted the person to go to find the remedy.
How did you, what was it like the first time you actually went to the Akashic Records?
I remember one of my first readings I actually did for a fellow student, and when the records opened, I actually saw her dancing on pigtails on a stage. And I mean, I never know what to make out of what I see, but when I translated the information to her, it made perfect sense because she was, I hope I'm not wrong, I believe she was Greek and she was part of a dance troupe.
Oh.
So I see different things. It can be, when I first started, it was books.
Right.
And the books would have different covers and letterings, and I'd open the book, and different things would be seen as I opened the book. And then it evolved to sometimes a DVD, a a race car once for this person that I was reading when I was in Oregon, and the person was really high-strung and speedy, and it was like a red race car racing by, and the message was slow down. So it varies.
How long does it take you to actually get to the point from somebody sitting in front of you or on the telephone to the point where you can actually go to the Akashic Records, and what technique do you use to do it?
It's fairly quick. I would say a couple of minutes. It's the way I was taught was through the use of an ancient prayer, and the prayer uses the person's full name, and that name vibration with the use of the prayer gets into their specific Akashic records, and it's never done without consent.
So you mean you and I talking on the phone, you could actually go into my Akashic record?
Yes, as long as I do the prayer beforehand and get into the energy of the records, yes.
Fascinating, truly fascinating. What has been your most startling epiphany doing the work you are doing with the Akashic Records and helping people who come to see you for your assistance?
I guess I'm always surprised when I get confirmation back from people when I'll do a reading about, for somebody, and I'll say, well, your great-grandmother, I see her, and she did such and such and such and such, and they don't know, but they'll go back and they'll ask, somebody at home, well, this is what somebody told me, and they'll get confirmation. So it always surprises me, even to this day, when I get confirmation that something I'm telling somebody, it's either correct or somebody else has already told them that, somebody else that they might have seen, and they're being told the same thing again.
What does the word Akashic mean?
It means soniferous ether.
Soniferous ether.
Yeah, it's or hidden library. It's a 5,000-year-old Sanskrit word.
And 5,000 years ago, who created the Akashic Records, or who was the first to discover them?
I don't know who would be the first person to discover it. I think it came to light through Edgar Cayce. I'm not sure if anything before that. But if you think about cellular memory, every cell in our body has an energetic component to it and a memory component to it. And I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but I've had spontaneous memory happen to me when I've been in specific places, and one of them was in Eleuthera. My body hit an underground lake, and as soon as it did, my body just convulsed. And as we were coming back out of this underground lake, somebody told me that I had died in a previous lifetime in this lake. So our body holds this memory in our cellular structure. Well, if our body's cells can hold memory, obviously there's memory held in the energetic components of everything around us.
Makes sense. How long does a reading usually take?
I allow an hour to an hour and a half because I want to make sure the clients get the most out of their reading. Sometimes we'll get into some pretty deep stuff, and there's still release work that I want to do, so sometimes the reading will get extended so that I can make sure that some of the layers of the onion are being released so that they can move on.
When you're going through the Akashic Records, how do you see it? Do you see it as an image? Do you see the wording? How do you do it? This is very interesting.
I guess see would be the right word, but it's not like seeing with my eyes. It's like seeing on an inner screen in my mind.
Right.
Sometimes I'll hear something, but it's usually seeing. I do have the ability to smell as well, but that doesn't usually come into play in the Akashic Records.
It doesn't?
Sorry?
So do you actually have an out-of-body experience where you leave your physical body to go to the Akashic Records?
No, it's not like an astral travel or anything like that, or even a trance. For me, it's really just putting myself into a space where I'm 100% in the energy of the Akashic Records and 100% there for the client, because the client actually leads me through the records based on the questions that they have for me. I have a package I send them, and there's some suggested questions in it, and they lead me through the Akashic records to find the information they want in that particular reading.
So, what kind of questions, or what is the most frequent question you get from the people who seek your readings of the Akashic records?
The most common questions are, what are my greatest fears? What is my life purpose? And a lot of them are about relationships that they currently are involved in, or past relationships, and perhaps the karmic ties in those past relationships.
When you say they ask you what their fears are, wouldn't they know what their fears are?
Some people are not aware of their fears entirely, or they might be aware of it, but they need somebody to tell them or confirm to them what they are. A lot of people are procrastinators. A lot of people have fear of success, fear of their own fame.
Yeah.
You know, some people want the fame, but they have a fear of it.
Geez, I don't know why a person would ever have fears of success, because you strive to be successful.
But in striving to be successful, there are pitfalls to that, and sometimes those pitfalls are what scare people.
Interesting. I've never looked at it that way. What is your background? What is your training, and how does that play in the reading of an Akashic record for someone?
Well, it's interesting you asked that. The ability to be able to read and answer somebody's questions, whether you're a psychic or an Akashic record reader, is really based on your life experience, because you have to be able to interpret what's being shown to you, and you interpret it based on your experience through your own life. My background, I guess I've always been somewhat aware and intuitive, but it wasn't until I started putting this into practice that muscle, I liken it to a muscle, it grew, and it continues to grow on a regular basis the more you use it.
So it's a continuous evolution for you as well.
Yes, continuous evolution, because every time it's funny, like I might get sick with something or have something happen to me.
Right.
And I'll say, okay, great, okay, I guess I'm having a client somewhere along the line that I'm going to need this information on how I healed myself of this or from this to be able to pass it on to the client. I find that's how it works. It's like, okay, I've got this experience to draw on, so I can... sometimes I end up being a coach and a counselor for people.
My goodness.
Based on my experience as well.
Are these readings hard on you? Do they drain you emotionally? Do they drain the energy out of you? Or do you come back refurbished, refreshed?
If I do, I've done about 11 or 12 readings in a day, and yes, I will be quite tired at the end of that. Mind you, these are mini readings, not full readings. But I will be tired, because when I find when I combine the release work does tend to take it out of me.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour, my dear. Please stand by. Great having you with us.
Thank you.
Exonation Irma Haggith is my special guest. We're talking about the Akashic Records. She is an Akashic record reader, certified Akashic record reader. And she's been doing this since 2004. Her website is www.selfgrowth.com. Just enter Akashic Records or her name in the search engine, and lo and behold, she will be there. Speaking about looking for people, if you're looking for the astrologer, or if you're looking for a psychic, if you're looking for a UFO organization, whatever, they can be found in the X-Zone directory of Who's Who. It's available in print, online, or in digital format. Just go to www.xzonedirectory.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news with Irma. Don't go away. Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads at xzoneradiotv.com.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money and abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
My name is Michael Telstar, Canada's leading mentalist from Toronto, Ontario.
Hi, my name is Splenza, and you're listening to my dad, Rob McConnell, on the X-Zone.
This is Psychic Dorothy from St. Catharines, and you're listening to Rob McConnell.
Hello, my name is Holly Reeves, an astrologer from Astro For You, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X-Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Welcome to The X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
On this useless night, with you so far away, I stand in front of this Ferris wheel and I wonder, what am I doing here? And I wonder, what am I doing here? And all the drunks just stumble by and mumble their abuse. Tell me, what is the use? And I wonder, what am I doing here? And I wonder, what am I doing?
Welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. That's an excellent question to ask our guest this hour. Her name is Irma Hageth. She is an Akashic record reader and teacher, and she's been doing this since 2004. Her website is www.selfgrowth.com, and in the search engine on that page, just put in Irma Hageth or Akashic record reader. All right, Irma. Now we've talked quite a bit about the Akashic records, and let's see if I can recap. It was Edgar Casey who brought the Akashic records to the forefront of the public that it is today. Am I correct?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. And they go back 5,000 years in Sanskrit?
Well, the name does.
Okay.
The wording does. So I imagine there were people that read it, but I don't know of them at this point.
Now, you say that the Akashic record readings that you do are combined with shift releasing techniques. Can you tell me what that's about?
What it's about is I identify through the reading things that are perhaps fears or issues, behaviors, addictions, fears that a customer or client might need to let go of.
Right.
And what I do is I work with Source, and on their behalf, if I'm doing this in person, I physically touch them. Mm-hmm. If I'm not doing it in person over the phone, I just have them tune into their own body. And I ask them on a scale from 1 to 10 how this issue is negatively affecting them. And they'll give me a scale from 0 to 10. They'll give me a number. And then I go up and I work, and then I come back down, check in. What's happening in your body? Is energy moving around? Where are you on the scale? And it just helps me to see where we're going with it. Is it moving? Is it helping them? And by the time we finish, it's usually down to a 3, maybe a 2, and then as the day goes on, it will continue to release, and I give them instructions with what to do the rest of the day to do self-care as they release. And I always ask that things be released with ease and grace, because if it's something that's ancestral, that's been not only theirs, but it goes back in their ancestral history, if it's released too suddenly on their behalf, it could be kind of a jolt to them energetically. So I have to be careful and make sure that it's released with everybody's highest and best good.
Is it possible that listeners tonight to the show may have at one time or another actually gone to the Akashic Records themselves without knowing it?
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, I know people that try to go a lot of the time on their own. Sometimes they can't get in because they're not ready. I think spontaneously we go places in our dreams. And maybe one of those places is even the Akashic Records.
Now, you say that you've had numerous experiences with the other side,
yes.
Thinning of the veils, alternate dimensions, and synchronicities. Can you tell me a few of them?
Well, that started happening. It was actually... this happened in Mexico. I had the opportunity to go to Mexico. It's near a little town called Guayabitos. I believe it's south of Puerto Vallarta on the coast. And it was when I did my Reiki mastership, and we went to a friend's parents' home. It was a villa built into a volcanic rock wall at the end of the beach. And the first night I was there, there's a pirate in my dreams trying to tell me where the buried treasure is. And the pirate has been there ever since they owned the villa. So everybody just laughed about it in the morning when they heard about it. But while we were doing our work for the Reiki, it was quite intense. We were studying and whatnot, and just in the compound because everything's gated. And when my girlfriend and I went out of the compound and went into town, it was like leaving a different dimension. It was really odd because we sort of went out the gate and we sort of looked at each other and went, "Did you feel that?" It was like we were leaving a different dimension.
Really?
Yeah. And another time when I was there, I was sleeping and something came and sat on the bed. It freaked me right out because I didn't expect it. And I said to her, the next night the dog's sleeping with me. So the next night the dog slept with me, and something laid on the bed beside me between the dog and I. The dog did not move, did not react. I just went back to sleep because whatever it was obviously not harmful.
What do you think the other side consists of?
Energy. And I say that because I've seen it. Mm-hmm. When I spoke of that cave earlier. We were in an underground cave in an underground lake, and we went to the back of the cave, and we were chanting, standing in this sort of edge of mud around the cave. And I had my eyes closed. And I finally shook my head and said, "Why have you got your eyes closed? It's pitch black in here." So I opened my eyes up, and all I could see was light around in the circle, and that was the energy of the people that were standing there, the pure energy of them, of what we are.
Now, how many dimensions do you think there are based on your experience and the number of years that you've been zipping back and forth from Earth to the Akashic Records?
Well, I think scientists have they not proven or theorized that there is at least 11, and I think they've even gone so much as to say there might even be 32 different dimensions.
Wow. And we only how can we can only perceive or relate to 3 of them?
Well, I don't think we're quite ready for the 4th and 5th yet, but they're coming. And if you think about things like déjà vu,
yes,
why do we have déjà vu? Is it not maybe because we've already done that somewhere else in another dimension? I mean, that could be an explanation for it.
Or could it be that the situation that we find ourselves in that many relate to as a déjà vu experience are actually just similar circumstances that we've already been in?
Yes, it could be it.
Yeah.
It could be something as simple as that, yes.
Do you communicate with those who have passed on the other side?
I have. I actually had a very interesting experience. This is getting dangerous. I can't say specifics, but I actually sat in the energy of somebody who had passed on. It was a family gathering, and there was one place left at the table. And the place at the table was where that person usually sat. And I reluctantly went and sat down, knowing exactly what was going to happen, because what we don't understand is when people have left us and they're on the other side, we need to leave a chair for them on special occasions because they show up. And that's exactly what happened. This person showed up. And I sat down right into his energy. So I've got this voice in my head saying, oh, please, tell them this, tell them that, say this, say that. And I'm like, I can't, they'll think I'm nuts. So there's this whole conversation going on in my head during this meal, and I can't say anything because they'll think I'm Looney Tunes. But I did say something to somebody after the meal, and they were appreciative that I shared it with them. So you never know what's going to happen when you're, I guess, intuitive and open to the energy around you and how it can, just show up.
Because you are such an intuitive person and that you're in tune with both sides and multi-dimensions, how do you turn it off? It must be very hard sometimes trying to get peace and quietness.
Yeah, that's something I don't have very often, but I seem to be able to turn it off. For me, oftentimes what will happen is something will come through spontaneously. If somebody starts talking about a loved one to me, then automatically that loved one I find shows up. They just come in.
It almost sounds as if you have actually lived in real life what Whoopi Goldberg did in Ghost.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I never thought of that. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me when I sat in that energy.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Do you also have visions of the future?
Sometimes when I'm laying in bed at night, I will have visions, and it's hard to sleep when I have that happen, and they're not always nice visions.
How do you cope with it? You're your own person. You have your own life. Then you have all these people coming to you because of your gift and your ability to check the Akashic records. And then you've got those on the other side who say, hey, she can see us. She can hear us. So you're getting bombarded all the time. And then you go to bed to try and rest. And bang, you get these psychic impressions.
Yeah. Well, it's not constant. In my case, it's not constant. There are people out there where it is. In my case, it's not. So I'm lucky in that regard. I guess maybe somewhere along the line I've learned to be able to turn it down enough that I can function. And I find my labyrinth board helps too.
All right. Tell me about the labyrinth board.
I have a labyrinth board that I created. It's a left and a right-handed labyrinth, which means it's a mirror image.
Mm-hmm.
And when you finger trace the pattern on the board in and out with both hands at the same time, it actually facilitates the left and right brain connecting with each other. And when that happens, you're calmer and you're more focused. It actually helps kids with ADD. It's in some of the Montessori schools for that reason.
Wow. Where did this inspiration come from?
I got one years ago from a lady in Michigan, and I just decided to start making them, and I make other ones as well, and I facilitate events and whatnot, and I have now 3 labyrinths, small ones that people can walk, and I'm actually doing an event this weekend.
Whereabouts? Can listeners go and visit you there and get to meet you and talk to you?
Yes, I actually will be presenting a Stress Busting with the Labyrinth at Origo Books on this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there at 3 o'clock. It's an all-day event with different speakers doing different things. And then the following weekend, I'm doing my Akashic Record talk and readings, and another Labyrinth event following that on the that's on the 24th of August. Sorry.
Is it just as easy for you to do a reading from the Akashic Records if the person is on the telephone or they contact you via Skype, or is it better if the person is sitting right in front of you?
I find it's just as easy no matter what, because I taught myself when I started doing this years ago, if I had the person with me, I didn't look at them because I wanted them to feel that they were getting authentic information, and I didn't want to see cues from them nodding their head or smiling or anything like that. So I don't look at them when I'm doing a reading anyway.
How old should a person be when they come to see you to get a reading about the Akashic Records? Would it be advisable for a mother to come with her child to see you? And would this be a way that you could actually help guide the child to a brighter future?
Yes, definitely. By all means, it has to be somebody at least the age of consent.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not, they would have to be with a parent or guardian.
Now, have the Akashic Records been shown in any movies at all?
Yes, the 2 that I referred to before, What Dreams May Come, and The Adjustment Bureau. And there's a lovely movie called Defending Your Life with Meryl Streep and Albert Brooks, which is a funny comedy about the other side, and it shows life review, and it shows the Akashic Records.
Right.
They go on a bus, and they go from building to building. It's quite a cute movie.
Have you seen ghosts?
Yes.
Really? What was it like the first time you saw a ghost? Were you frightened? Were you taken back? Or was it just like, hey, how are you?
It's more of a feeling than a seeing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a sensation that I get that there's a presence. Actually, where I live, there's actually, I don't know if it's still here or not, but there was actually a portal in the hallway here where I live because there's an Indian burial ground underneath this whole complex.
Wow.
So it's not uncommon for people to complain about hauntings.
I guess not. You and I have to take our final break before the top of the Howard Police stand by Irma.
Okay.
Exo Nation, Irma Haggath is my special guest now. Once again, to go to her website, just go to www.selfgrowth.com. And in the search engine, just enter Akashic Record Reader or Irma Haggath. My name is Rob McConnell. This is The X Zone. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
And I wonder what...
Born a Shiite Muslim and taught the Quran in his youth are some of the reasons why President Obama has an affinity for Islam and the Muslim people. His nuclear deal with Iran allows them to obtain over $150 billion to stimulate their country domestically and militarily while pursuing their objective to develop a nuclear bomb. A groundbreaking article by Nicholas Jennings titled, "Obama Continues to Lie to the American People," exposes many lies Obama has made. It includes lies to the American people on the Obama-Iran nuclear deal and Benghazi.
The Genix article is provided on the internet link www.rel-mar.com/NG2. That's www.rel-mar.com/NG2.
When demystified, shamanism is an ancient science delving into the quantum level of life. Understanding and implementing basic shamanic principles can empower the individual to heal, manifest, and evolve in these rapidly changing times. Path Home Shamanic Art School is a one-of-a-kind Colorado State certified occupational school training and certifying shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also train individuals simply interested in empowering and enriching their lives through shamanism. Path Home's certification classes are in a week-long block format, enabling national and international students to participate. We also provide online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions as well. Discover all you can be. Enter the limitless world of shamanism today. For more information, visit findyourpathhome.com or call 303-775-3431.
Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads at xzoneradiotv.com.
Tell me one more time again, just like I didn't hear you, like I don't know what's going through your mind. I do. I played the same game too. I know it's hard to stop, even when you want to. Now the moon lights up your face, I can see you're crying, and you never like me to see you cry. It's true, I've done some crying too. Know the hardest part about it, trying to hide it from you. Well, it would be great to be so strong, never needed anybody else to get along, but we're so scared of the silence and the tricks that we use. Oh, we're careful and we're cunning, but we're easily bruised. I don't want to lie about it, I'm not bulletproof.
Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. My guest this hour, Irma Haggath. Her website is www.selfgrowth.com. Just enter her name or Akashic Record Reader into the search engine, and le voila, she will be there. Irma, I'd like to thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a great pleasure talking to you, and thank you for, telling us about the Akashic Records, its history, and how it can be used by people who may have brought baggage into this life from another life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that a lot? And what is the reaction of people when you're able to pinpoint the problems that they've been having?
Well, the reaction is amazing when the baggage is cleared.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about ancestral baggage, because what happens is, if there's a pattern that somebody brings in that has been an ancestral pattern through their ancestral history, as each generation goes through, it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're able to clear it, it clears for them, for their past family members and their future family members. And in one case, I had a lady come to me for a reading, and she literally just shifted gears and is off doing her own thing now and is happier than, she probably ever has been. It just totally changed her life for her, because it resonated with her and she was ready to take the next step.
Wow. Fascinating. It's really fascinating. And, I'd like to thank you so much again for joining us tonight. And I look forward to the next time that I meet you in the X Zone.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, you take care of yourself. Exonation, my guest this hour has been Irma Haggith. We've been talking about the Akashic Records. Now, Irma is a certified Akashic Record reader and a teacher since 2004. And readings are combined with a releasing technique to assist her clients in letting go of what is no longer working for them. Once again, if you'd like to contact Irma, her website is www.selfgrowth.com. And in the search engine on that page, just enter Irma Haggith, and her family name is spelled Haggith. And or you can just enter Akashic Record Reader. It's that simple, Exonation. I'll be back on the other side of the news at the top of the hour at 6.5 minutes past as the X Zone continues from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell, and we will return. Don't go away.
Tell me one more time again, just like I didn't